Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of The Daily Dose, where we take an unfiltered look on healthcare, politics, and how it can impact your life. Today, we're going to go over top 5 food changes that I have for you that I've personally implemented that have made a significant difference on my microbiome and my symptoms. So with that being said, let's get into it. Time to wake up, America. Let's start with the first food that we just have to absolutely get rid of: seed oils, right? You knew this was coming. Seed oils are going to be things like canola oil, soybean oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil. These oils are all high in omega-6 linoleic acid, which is going to drive chronic inflammation. It's going to disrupt your gut lining, and it's going to damage your cell membranes. Okay. The ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 that you want to see is close to 2 to 1, but roughly in America right now, it's about 20 to 1. And that has a lot to do with ultra processed foods and fast foods and convenience. What do I switch to? Well, when I first made this switch, I went right to avocado oil and olive oil. So when I did high cooking temperatures, I used avocado oil, and then I switched to olive oil for dressing things on top, making salad dressings with olive oil, stuff like that. Then I started experimenting a little bit with coconut oil, which is also good. These are all anti-inflammatory. They're rich in monosaturated fats. They're easy for our body to digest, and it's going to be easy on the gallbladder, especially if you have that gallbladder or liver sluggishness. And then after that, I actually started incorporating a little bit more tallow and ghee, which is going to, again, be really nutrient rich, and it's going to help heal that gut lining, and it's going to support bile flow too. I really think ghee tastes so good too, and you can really tell that you're actually cooking with ghee. Not the same thing as butter. It's going to be easier for your body to digest. So if you're going to start making that switch, especially if you're cooking foods at home on your own, definitely look into the avocado, the olive, the coconut oils, and then the tallow and the ghee. Again, it's important to remember that most of the time, ultra processed foods or things that are already pre-made or pre-packaged are going to have some sort of seed oil in them, whether that's canola, soybean, safflower, sunflower. Again, it's cheap to make, and the shelf life is going to increase when things like that are in it. So that's why a lot of companies use it. The bad news is it's bad for your health, but these companies don't care about your health. They care about the shelf life. They care about making money and profits. You need to remember that. The second thing, this was by far the hardest thing for me to eliminate, was gluten. Now, I wasn't diagnosed celiac. I didn't have gluten come up on a food allergy test. I didn't have gluten come up on a food sensitivity test. However, what happens is this: gluten is actually going to trigger something called zonulin. And this is a protein that's actually going to destroy those tight junctions that we have in our cell wall that are really important for permeability. We want certain things to be permeable. Our gut is selectively permeable. So certain things should go in and out, or should I say in. But when we have this increased intestinal permeability or leaky gut, this can be exacerbated by gluten itself, regardless of if you have an allergy or an intolerance to it at all. It's going to cross-react with other tissues like the thyroid and the skin, and that can fuel autoimmune flares. On top of it, removing gluten itself has helped not only my inflammation, but most of my patients. Just removing it from the diet not only removes the inflammation, but it kind of limits what you can eat too, right? The less gluten that you eat, the less processed foods you're eating as well, right? You're not eating soups with gluten in it. You're not eating sandwiches. Your carbohydrate intake is drastically going lower. So there are other factors that play a role in that inflammatory level coming down, but getting rid of gluten is absolutely amazing for that gut lining and that gut wall integrity. We have to talk about protein. This was probably the last thing that I incorporated, and I didn't realize how important it was until I actually started doing it. But protein is fundamental, and we don't talk enough about protein. Roughly right now, what I'm doing is a gram of protein per pound of body weight that I'm at. This has done a couple things that's been amazing for me personally, and it's helped with my productivity. It's helped with work. It's helped with mindset and clarity. Eating that much protein and eating less and shifting away from the carbohydrates after meals has been really good for my insulin sensitivity and my blood sugar response. I have no more crashes. There's no more of me eating dinner and then afterwards absolutely having nothing left to me sitting on the couch. No, I still have some energy to get work done, to give Vinny a bath, to do all the things that I need to do to wrap up the day. Same thing goes for breakfast and lunch. It's amazing not to have those sugar crashes after eating every meal, and high protein is going to help with that. It's actually going to help trigger GLP-1, which is going to reduce that hunger craving and improve that insulin response as well. It has amino acids. Obviously, proteins have amino acids, right? But like glutamine, glycine are really important for healing that gut lining on top of it, which is why it was really important for me to incorporate on my healing journey, especially with Crohn's. I want to talk about one that I feel like a lot of content creators don't talk about, and it's rice. Am I against rice? No, but I really believe potatoes over rice is actually a game changer for a couple reasons. Well, one, rice is pure starch, right? So it's going to be fast digesting, and that glucose is going to basically spike, and that insulin response is going to go up. And you might not feel that great. Potatoes, especially when you cool them and then reheat them, this is going to develop more of a resistant starch, and this is going to help feed the good beneficial bacteria and make the thing that I talk about all the time that's almost necessary to have good gut health, and it's butyrate. Again, this is a short chain fatty acid. It's going to help with immune system response, inflammatory response. It's going to help with hormone conversion. It's going to help signaling to make digestive enzymes. It is basically the master communicator within that gut itself, and we need to make sure that we're eating foods that are going to help produce that or make the environment favorable for our body to produce butyrate, and potatoes is going to be one of them. Also high in things like potassium, which we know most Americans aren't getting even close to enough of. In my opinion, beetroots, beet greens, and avocados are still my top tier for potassium, but still most people probably need to be supplementing with it. But again, yeah, potatoes aren't the enemy. I'm a big fan of sweet potatoes as well. But if you still feel like you need to, have a budget and want to make sure that you're still feeling full while producing the good beneficial bacteria and supporting that gut flora, potatoes are a way better option than rice. Rice is dirty. Rice can bloat you. I have a lot of patients that usually just don't respond well to rice, but they do with potatoes. Lastly, number 5, bone broth. Oh my gosh, never knew the power of bone broth until I actually gave it a go. Loaded with collagen, loaded with glycine, glutamine, proline. All these are really important for rebuilding that gut wall. It's also going to help bring down inflammatory levels, especially if we're dealing with IBS or even issues with like that gut-brain connection, right? Anxiety, depression, sleep problems, so on and so forth. It's also a natural electrolyte, so it helps there too, especially with the salt. And then on top of that, what I like to do is this. So I take the bone broth, preferably warm, right? Some people don't, and I'm like, interesting. But bone broth, adding a little bit of honey in there as well. So if you want to make it a little bit sweeter, you can do that. You can even add a little bit more mineralized salt or Celtic sea salt. Basically make it your own. I have a couple patients who even put cinnamon in their bone broth. So I want you to make it your own, but it's something where you can do just 1 glass a day. And it's going to be really good for supporting digestion. It's a good little sweet treat too, depending on how much honey and other like things you put in there, like the cinnamon. But it's a good switch from the typical water or sodas or coffee or tea or whatever else you're doing. Bone broth is a great alternative, and it's going to support that gut. So those are the 5 things, right? So whacking the seed oils, focusing on absolutely being gluten-free, regardless of allergies or sensitivities, making sure that we're focusing on high protein, swapping those rice dishes for potato dishes, right? And then lastly, adding in some bone broth. I guarantee you, if you're all listening to this right now, you're not doing all 5 of these. So comment down below, which one of these are you not doing yet that you're excited to try? Again, for me, the last one on this list that I tried was actually the bone broth, and it's actually amazing. So let me know what your thoughts are below. Which one of these do you want to start trying tomorrow? Which ones have you been focusing on right now? Remember, we have a show every Thursday, almost said Tuesday, every Thursday with Dr. Lena and I. It's called the Healthcare Rewritten podcast. This is a spinoff of that where we talk about different topics every single day. Sometimes it's politics, sometimes it's news, sometimes it's just little pieces that you can take home and start incorporating every single day. But over the next probably 2 months here, we're going to be focusing a lot on the microbiome and the gut, IBS, IBD on our Thursday show. So if you know someone who is diagnosed with Crohn's, celiac, ulcerative colitis, has been dealing with IBS, whether that's IBS-C or IBS-D, make sure that you direct them to that specific podcast show, because it's going to be breaking down everything from the gut microbiome to what you can be doing to heal your gut. It's going to be very beneficial. This is almost like a sneak peek to all of that. So that's all I have for you today. I was able to ramble on a little bit here about things that I have personally done that I've seen results with, not just personally, but also clinically with my patients as well. So I hope that you can take a couple things away from this. Hope it helps to heal your gut. I hope you learned something, and we will see you all next time. Goodbye.